Narcissistic people are known for their lack of empathy, which means they have a lack of concern, a lack of care, a lack of sensitivity, a lack of love for you. Unfortunately, most people don't realize this lack of empathy that narcissistic people possess until it's too far into the relationship, and by that time, it's crushing you, it's choking you out. I want to share with you a key indicator that people you're dealing with have no empathy. This red flag, if you will, is this. It's a lack of curiosity. A person with a lack of curiosity is a person with a lack of empathy. Let's talk about this. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I do continue with this very important message about the lack of empathy that's tied to the lack of curiosity that narcissistic people have in this life, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls as well as video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So if you're dealing with a family member, a mom, a dad, perhaps a narcissistic husband, a wife, or friends or coworkers, and they are showing signs of no empathy, no love, no concern, no sensitivity towards you, don't waste another moment of your time trying to sort it out. Head on down there, contact me. I'd love to talk with you. Also, I have a coaching program. My coaching program is live and in person each and every day. I don't just send you books and videos for you to watch on your own time. I invest my daily time with you to support you. In addition to daily time, I also have Royal We Fellowship every Tuesday night where we come together, open up the Word of God, and see what the Bible has to say about living in a world that is full of narcissistic people, full of people with a lack of empathy. Also, every Thursday night is Backstage Pass. Now, Backstage Pass is where I share with you what it takes to be a coach, mentally, emotionally, physically, even technologically. So for those of you who are looking to be a content creator, looking to get into coaching, head on down there. Join the Royal We coaching program for a month so you can learn all of the background information that goes into it. Now, let's talk about this very important topic. We're talking about a lack of empathy, which, as I said before, means a lack of love, a lack of care, a lack of consideration, a lack of sensitivity. Now, I'm not going to get into this topic of where this lack of empathy comes from. Some people might say that narcissistic people were never taught empathy, but I would beg to differ. I would argue against that, actually. I was never taught empathy in this life. I mean, where would I have learned it from? From a father who left when I was 4? From a stepfather who yelled and screamed and was abusive? From an alcoholic mother? No, I wasn't taught how to be empathic. It was just a part of my life as I observed the world around me as I was raised. Now, when it comes to this extraordinary gift that some of you have, the gift of empathy, you're going to notice something about your gift of empathy. It comes with something else. It comes with the gift of curiosity. How many of you are very curious people by your nature? Let me know in the comment section down below. How many of you like to ask the question, but why? You're always asking, but why? Because you have a desire to know something. You have a desire to know about the people in your life, the people that you love. You have a curiosity. Why? Because the curiosity allows you to know enough about the person so that you can be empathetic towards their needs. Empathy does not exist without curiosity. This is what allows you to find out about people so that you know how hard they have it, what they're going through. This is how you're able to relate and to resonate. Narcissistic people don't have this curiosity. Now, some of you are saying, but Kevin, when I first met the narcissistic person, when I first was dealing with those people, they were so curious. They were asking me all kinds of questions, on and on and on. Yeah, I get it. I remember. I was asked those questions too. But when I look back, they weren't deep questions, folks. They were very shallow. Narcissistic people ask very shallow questions, rarely having to do with anything deep about you. Sure, they'll ask about who you've dated, what your exes were like. That's not for empathy. That's not to find out about you and your deepest needs. That's to be able to have something to weaponize against you. They'll ask you about little things, this and that. But one of the things you're really going to notice about narcissistic people is they don't like asking questions. Narcissistic people like telling questions. What's the difference? An asking question is getting to know you. A telling question is making a statement about you. Narcissistic people are really good at that. Let me give you an example of what this looks like. An asking question is, share with me about your day. What you do sounds really hard. It's no wonder you feel exhausted at the end of the day. Tell me about it. How do you feel? That's an asking question. What's a telling question? Oh, you think you work hard, don't you? That's a telling question. Do you see the difference? The difference is one is trying to paint you in a demeaning way. That's the telling question. The asking question is really trying to understand you and get to know you. You know, when I look back on my relationship with the in-laws that I dealt with years ago, I was never asked a genuine asking question. I was given a lot of telling questions. I heard all the time, oh, you think you're better than everybody else, don't you? How many of you have heard something like that? Oh, you like being around this, don't you? Or you don't like that, do you? Telling questions. But to give you an example of the types of questions that I never received from them, I'll share with you. My mother died 2006, a long time ago. It was a rough time for me. She died because of her alcohol addiction. Not a single one of those in-laws came to me at any time and said, Kevin, how are you processing this? This must be hard. How are you doing? Is there anything we can do for you? Kevin, do you need to take some time off of work? Kevin, do you need to process? Kevin, none of that. No questions. I didn't realize it back then, but it was the first red flag, one of the first indications, the key indications that I was dealing with people that have no empathy whatsoever. So to wrap this message up, what I want to share with you is that when you're dealing with people, family members, friends, pay attention to the way in which they're asking you questions. Are they asking questions out of curiosity, which can lead to concern, care, interest in your life, love, and ultimately empathy? Because empathy does not exist without curiosity. Or are they telling questions, which allows them to paint any image they want of you? They don't have to get to know you. Narcissistically abusive people don't want to get to know the real you. From the very beginning, they want to tell you things, to start, to dominate you, to control you. As I said before, I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls, video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So don't hesitate. Those of you who are dealing with a lack of empathy in your life right now, head on down there, schedule that time with me. Let's talk about it. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future Royal We content. And I'll be back right here on the Royal We. Check out one of these videos recommended to you by the YouTube algorithm. Have a great evening.